I think with all due respect, Evelyn, you can proceed with the plenary. Tafadhali wako nje, wale wenye wako nje tafadhali, hao wenye wanapiga story hapo nje, tafadhali tuingie hapo ndani, tafadhali sisi wote, wale ambaye bado wako nje, tafadhali sisi wote tunaomba kwa heshima sana tuweze kufika sisi wote. Wale ambaye bado wako nje, tunaanza session nyingine, tafadhali tuweze kufika sisi wote hapa. Asante. Evelyn.
Thank you very much. Thank you to our panelists for availing yourselves. Before we open up this panel for discussion, I would want to conduct a brief, I'm not sure it's called a ceremony, but we just want to do a quick handover from the previous session of the report from NLC and Namati to the CC Lands, who is also here. And we can take advantage of that by also, having our Vice Chair, National Land Commission. So I would ask Madam Gertrude to come forward from NLC. I will ask Eileen Wakesho, where are you? Please present yourself up here. Our colleague who made the presentation earlier. I would like to ask officers from the Samburu County, wale wako hapa, wanaweza to join hapa kwa podium, watasimama hapa mbele pamoja na wa CC. Any other CEC from different counties ambao wako hapa, ama officers from the government ambao wanaweza to join hapa, Ministry of Lands, kindly join us hapa kwa podium. Nitawa request hao wengine mnaweza simama nyuma tupokee hii report alafu tutarudi kuketi. So in terms of how this is done, I'm not the best person to provide direction, but I will ask. So we have few copies which will be distributed. Moja tutapatia our CEC Lands. Yes. Wengine tutapatia FAO representative wako wapi? Impact representative, tunataka impact representative hapa. Tunataka Bwana Kaunda. Tafadhali present yourself here. Kalama Pauline, present yourself here. Na chairman wa Mosul community, present yourself here very quickly. So hapa katikati nataka CC pande moja na madam pande ingine, na wale wengine watakuwa wameshika hizo copies as follows. FAO representative, sogea hapa, utakuwa na copy, mpatie copy. Wewe utachukua copy ambayo uta hand over, so wewe una copy for now. So madam, you'll have a copy of the report. Yeye utakuwa na copy lakini utashika tu as display. Alafu nani mwingine? Impact representative ni nani? Wale Kaunga ako wapi?
Wale Kaunga.
Alafu
community representative
huyu Kaunda ako wapi? Kaunda, pewa report, a copy. Bwana Kaunda. Manager. Wewe hebu patia Bwana Kaunda. Yes, we are still organizing, just hold on. So Bwana Kaunda chukua report.
So, and we are holding it like this.
Relax. Well, let it report.
No, it's just a suggestion.
Yes, ngoja wewe uta hand over by greetings, but hao watakuwa wameshika yao hivyo. Sawa?
Okay.
So, we have nani mwingine?
Chairman
Musul ako wapi? Chairman wa Musul? Pewa report. So nyinyi mtakuwa mmeshika yenu as a display. Madam will hand over the report to the CC Lands. So nyinyi wawili mtakapo step forward na kubreak and you hand over as you. Ama unafanya hivi ndio report ionekane na iweze kusomeka from the camera side. Unashika katikati.
You present an award.
Yes, exactly. That is how, but this one is to be in front.
Just bring your hand.
Bring your hand, your right hand. In corner.
That is nice.
So, hao wengine nataka msogee mahali mnaweza onekana kidogo. Ngoja. So hao wame display Eileen kuja hapa mbele, wewe uko party ya hii report launching. You should either hold her hand hivi as a way of wewe sogea mbele. So wewe acha kukaa mbali sana na wakubwa. Good. Madam, please come. Can we have an extra report? Kuna report nyingine? Wote madam ashuke. Tunangojea wale wanapicha uchukue wetu, lakini bado hatujajipanga. Wacha ilete report nyingine. Good. Go see. Ministry of Lands. I think so far we are good, eh? So can we now upload National Land Commission and Namati Congratulations. The ceremony is over. So I know we had a presentation already about the report, but maybe I can invite you to say a word.
Community land have been able to be registered. So there's still a lot to be done. And also, I'm happy that we have 5 women represented in the leadership of the community land registers, for those which have been registered. But we still need more women. We need youth to be represented. So there's a lot of paradigm cultural shift which needs to happen. So our takeaways here as stakeholders is to find out ways of how we can make that shift. We can help the communities realize that shift in the paradigms, the way they view things in ownership, so that it can, the agenda of this summit can be realized. The other thing I would like to urge all the stakeholders to take away from this report is the need of how government can be mainstreaming issues of gender and youth into their into their budget. And this needs to be taking place throughout the whole budget cycle. So as stakeholders, you can find ways in which you can sensitize this, or you can look at the gaps in the way budgeting is done and how this can be incorporated. We can talk about it, but unless we go to the root of the problem and find out how to address it in a practical way, then it will never change. Finally, there's the issue of dispute resolution. And I'm happy to report that we have a judiciary with a Chief Justice who has been focusing on alternative dispute resolution. And she has set up a committee, which I'm happy and privileged to serve in, to ensure that Article 60 of the Constitution, which encourages the use of the community initiatives in resolving disputes to be used, it is already working, and I'm sure some of you have already interacted with it, but it needs to be community-centered. It needs to work with the systems which exist in the community. even now. And they are there. Wherever I've gone in the counties, in other counties represented here, I've found that there are already elders in place of different communities. There's a way we have developed guidelines which are in line with the Constitution, which can be utilized to guide them. It is a better way to resolve the disputes which were highlighted here yesterday. Because our Constitution encourages us to own the process. Sovereignty of the people of Kenya belongs to the people of Kenya. The government agents are only delegated that sovereignty. So the community needs to take this role very seriously and be at the center of resolving their disputes. Soon NLC will be developing frameworks in ways in which you can have referral systems with the different stakeholders who resolve your disputes. And whoever is here and is interested, you can talk to me. We partner in that initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Makofi kwa Madam Gertrude, for working closely with, working through partnership with Namati to deliver this report. So that concludes our brief session on the report. I would like now to go to our official session according to our program, where we will be discussing women and youth investment in conservation, ecotourism, and livestock economy. We have the privilege of having our CC Lands and other stakeholders also and the other government officials represented in this panel. For the interest of time and the responsibility of our CC Lands, I'll give him the opportunity to be the first speaker and also maybe have an opportunity to respond. He may not probably have read the report, but from the brief presentation, probably this will also be a moment to say a word or two as you make your intervention. And kindly, if you can keep it within 5 to 7 minutes, I will highly appreciate. Thank you and most welcome.
Gentlemen, watu wa Samburu mjambo, mjambo tena, watu wetu wa Laikipia mjambo. Nasema watu wetu wa Laikipia because I once also worked in Laikipia, so I have so many friends around today. Kwa niaba ya Samburu County Government, let me take this opportunity to make a few remarks. And the first one, let me take this opportunity to apologize for not being available in yesterday's session. I was held up in Nairobi. I'm a part of a team that is supposed to go to the US with the governor. So yesterday I had some visa issues, so I was not able to attend yesterday's session. But I hope my team from the department, led by our able CEO, was able to stand in for me well. My second apology is from His Excellency the Governor, Honorable Lati Lelilit. He wanted to join us today in the closing session, but unfortunately, due to some unavoidable circumstance, he can't make to come today to Samburu, but we will represent him well. I have a big team here of CCs today, led by Kanayara and Evelyn. So, wanasema hapa Samburu, serikali iko imara. And then my third remark is on what we were able to achieve as a county in terms of registration of community land, which is in tandem with the theme of this meeting, the gender equality, that is SDG number 5. Gender equality, gender equality and participation of women and youth in land ownership, natural resource management, and enhancement of sustainable local economies. By support of many partners, Impact Kenya, FAO, NAMATI, FCDC, and many others, the county government of Samburu was able to register close to 22 community lands. We are among the highest in the country. And by doing so, these groups, the women, the youth, the people living with disability, are able to be part and parcel of those registered community lands. They are able to access and utilize the rights. In the Community Land Act of 2016. We are also able to register an additional 2. So from 22, we are almost at 24. We have 2 community lands that are supposed to be, that almost, we are just waiting to hand over the titles to the community. That is Nairimilimo and Arsim. This year again, county government and FAO, we are doing Lonjorin and Donyona Sipa. So by end of this year, we will be at 26. And hopefully going forward, we will keep on adding 2, 3 every financially until we were projecting by end of 2027. That is the end of this term for our county government. We will be able to be almost 80 to 80. I said we are able to register around 22, and plus the 2 which are almost, we will be at 24. And the 2 was through the efforts of Frontier County Development Council and FCDC and Samburu County Government. So we are now at 22 plus 2, 24. And in the previous years, we have transitioned about, not really transitioned, we dissolved about how many group ranches? 14. Mostly in Samburu West, 14 group ranches were dissolved and are subdivided into individual parcels. When it is individually owned, my take is, and it is just my thing, is the more we make it individual, we will have a problem. And by the way, we already have a problem, even in Samburu. The problems in Narok and Kajiado, the selling of land, they say the selling of land to buy poverty is already also in Samburu. We have subdivided, and most communities, most individuals have sold it. We can't control. Once it is individually owned, you don't control. It is the market to control. Willing buyer, willing seller. So it was my urge, maybe for the remaining, because that is where we are going. Once we register as a community, the next step is to dissolve that group or that community land to individually owned parcels. I want to encourage all of us, both within our pastoral counties in Kenya and other regions, that once we do the registration so that the land is owned and managed by the community, I will personally encourage our groups and partners to stop at that. Let us not subdivide. Because you can't sell what is not yours. You can't sell what is not yours. But once it becomes yours, you cannot control. And that is what the problem we are having in Kajiado mostly, Narok, and most of the other counties that their land has been subdivided to individually owned or titled parcels. And I want to encourage our pastoral counties, the ones that have not registered, that it is very important for communities to own and manage their lands. Put some budgetary provisions in your county budgets to support partners in registration of those community lands. It's a bit expensive, as was said by National Land Commission and Namati. One of the challenges is the cost of doing registration. The cost is per community is around 15 to 20 million. But it is a cost that is what the county government and the partners. Because once you don't have any ownership document over your community land, who is the owner of that community land? The owner is, as it is now, assume you don't have anything, it is just a trust land. The owner is the county government. And we are going at a very high speed towards mining of community resources, towards carbon credits, and maybe, say, a community in, say, Marsabit or Mandera, a community land, has a potential to generate some amount of carbon credit. Who stands to benefit from those credits? It's not a community. You don't have control. The county government is holding in trust on your behalf. So they can make any decision they want on your behalf. But once it is community managed, you take charge. You take charge as a community. And of course, there is this very interesting bit of the Community Land Act of 2016 that all the members, not women, not young people, not old people, all of you who are part of that, when that land is being registered, you automatically become members. For the Group Ranch Act, in 1960s, when most of these group ranches in Samburu West were registered, around 1978, 76, I have a practical example of my dad's brother, my uncle. For the Samburu people, they know when Ligororo was circumcised, like Nakaungas, around 1976. A fully circumcised man in 1976, and the registration was done between 76 to 78. He's not part of that register. And he has lived there for all those years. You see, to give a subdivision, you are told you don't have anywhere to live because you are not a registered member of that particular group, right? You can imagine. Sasa hii group ingine yetu sisi wote like watu wa 80s na 90s na 2000. If your dad was not registered and you are born and bred in that particular village, in that group ranch, you become landless. And it is a practical example in most of these group ranches. When you wamefanya hiyo subdivision, watu wa National Land Commission, surveyors wa county, you are a witness to that. You are a witness to that. Wazee rika ya kina Kaunga hawana shamba, na wamezaa watoto wote hapo na wametairisha hapo. Naomba tu members of group ranch, for example, Losu group ranch, because I am a member of that group ranch by extension, because my dad was a member. I'm not a registered member. So nimesaliwa na kufanya vitu yote huko, kusoma huko until I'm almost 40 years myself, but I'm not a member. Baba yangu na alikuwa member, akapewa 58 acres. Sisi ni watu kama kwa boma, because my baba yangu ni koplo, kuna bibi wawili, tuko karibu vijana 20. Tunapaswa kugawa hiyo 58 acres. Na by the way, watu 20, watu wazima, hakuna wenye wanakaa pamoja kawaida. Kila mzee ako na boma yake huko dunia nyingine. Sasa mnaomba sisi nyinyi wote msanyike kwa hiyo 58 acres. Okay, si mbaya kugawa vitu ya baba yako, but mimi ningepewa 2 acres yangu, na hiyo mzee mwingine apewe 5 acres yake, aende huko akaishi huko, mimi niishi pia huko na watoto wangu. You know, tusisanywe, because hata kama sisi ni siblings, pia hatujaishi pamoja. Kila mtu ako na mambo ya kwake. You can imagine. Mimi sasa. How about women? Shosho yangu is as old as before she died in 2012, alikuwa almost 90 years. When this registration was being done in 1976-78, and she was a widow, hakuwa considered. Si hata yanga aduka kwa hiyo register. Sasa mambo ya vijana hatuwezi hata ongea kwa ile mambo ya registration ya samani. At least now, what we are doing as a county government of Samburu in registering community lands, we are making sure these young people, women, people living with disability are part and parcel of that register. Because if they are not, imagine another 30 years, when you are an old person, and a group ranch in Nairimilimo is being, or a community land in Nairimilimo is being subdivided, and you have lived there the whole of your life, alafu mzee ya committee anakuambia, my friend, then you are not part of this community because you are not in our register. Pack your things and go. Ataenda wapi? Hakuna mahali ataenda. So that is just a lesson for, especially for members and counties and maybe regions that have not registered. Please consider everyone. Weka kila mtu kwa register. Hata mtu akikufa watoto wake watakuwa na shamba. Sawa? Because you can imagine an old man, like I said, I will use Kaunga because he's my friend, as old as Kaunga, ameishi Lolmolok for all those years, akona vijana rika yangu, and then because of the legal process of subdivision, and huko kwa register, yenye ilifunga 1978, naomba my friend, enda. Na watu wetu wametoka Samburu, wameenda Laikipia. Kwa sasa Samburu si kila mtu ako na title yake. Na Laikipia usijui unaenda kwa nani? Juu pia huko hauna shamba. Huko kwanza iko titled. Si group ranch na imetitleiwa hiyo ma 1980s. You can imagine how that process of registering in the group ranch management act, how it was unfair to the young people, to the women, and many other groups. So with those few remarks, I hope I will get some time to finish later, but I can leave it at that. Maybe just making one last remark. Our focus is more on community land, and that is actually the focus of the Community Land Summit 2022, 2021, 2022, and 2023. I was part of the Community Land Summit in 2022, and even today, we are hosting it. let's also focus, because as long as we want gender equality in as far as land participation in land management is concerned, we also need to focus on our urban centers. Not big chunks of land or parcels, but that is where most of our youth and women live. We need to focus so that they also secure that small list or title in those urban centers. Because, that's why they can also be able to participate in business and trade and things that build their local economies. And with those few remarks, I say thank you.
Thank you so much, Bwana CC, for that very informative speech or presentation. And congratulations as a county for being among the best who really stands out in terms of successes, in terms of supporting communities to really register their land. And this is really important because it underscores the importance of land tenure security, but also creating an enabling environment for investment, whether it's ecotourism, whether it's carbon credit, and so forth. So for the other panelists, of course, the CC has taken much of the time. So yako ninanyonga. Eh? So if I ask you to take like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, I'll be strict to stand here and tell you, please, Malaysia. What we need are top highlights. Top highlights. Kwa hivyo ni kama nika point elezea kwa kifupi. So, thank you so much once again. I hope you'll have time to be with us for the shortest time that will be possible, because pengine kuna maswali following the conversation we had yesterday that I believe you'll be better placed to provide a response. So allow me to call our next panelist. This will be conservation person from NRT. Please jitambulishe, and you have 4 minutes, strictly 4 minutes or less. Ukimaliza before hata 4 minutes nitashukuru.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Batul Ananyuki. I work for NRT. I'm the regional director for NRT Center. And basically, because I know NRT might be new to some people, NRT basically means Northern Rangeland Trust. It is an umbrella organization that supports community conservancies in Kenya. And basically, we support closely to 50 conservancies. And why I say 50 conservancies is that we support 43 community conservancies, and basically around 5 conservancies supported by the county government of Samburu. So in total, we support around 50 conservancies in Kenya. And 1 conservancy in diaspora. We have a conservancy in Uganda. And we are clustered into around 5 regions, basically because of the operations and the management efficiencies. And these clusters we have what we call NRT coast conservancies within Lamu, Tana River, and Garissa. We have NRT Mount Kenya conservancies in Laikipia and conservancies in Meru. And we have NRT West conservancies in West Pokot and Baringo, and we have NRT East conservancies in Isiolo and Marsabit. And finally, we have NRT Center, which is the hub for NRT conservancies. That is Samburu. And in Samburu, we work very closely with the county government in supporting 15 conservancies. So our vision is definitely thriving communities and ecosystem. And we do this by building resilient community conservancies that transforms life, secure peace, and manage natural resources. And as per the subject of the day, mentioning about women and youth investment in conservancies, tourism, and livestock management, as NRT and as a conservancies, we have 5 thematic areas. These are governance, peace, and wildlife protection, livelihoods, and natural resources. NRT does a lot of work, and for particular in this context, I will share what are some of the activities that we undertake in women and youth involvement in conservation. And as per our thematic areas, one of our thematic areas is basically governance, and NRT believes that strong governance is the backbone of managing community conservancies to ensure that these conservancies are effectively and efficiently managed to address livelihood issues within our conservancies. And how do we take? Oh my goodness! Sorry, my brother. Sawa, naarifiwa nitajaribu kuchanganya ingawaje hii Kiswahili iko na challenges mingi, but I will try to probably moderate to suit probably the interest of the participants. So I mentioned about governance within our conservancies, na sisi kama organization tumeweza kuinvest na mambo ya land transition, kuona kwamba zile conservancies ambazo tunasaidia kama NRT zimeweza kutransit from group lands to community land, na through that CLA ama ile sheria ya Community Land Act tumeweza kuona kwamba kina mama na pia youth wamekuwa kielelezo katika management ama uongozi wa conservancies. Na jana kuna presenter mmoja ameweza kusema kwamba hata ingawaje tuko kwa hizo CLMCs ama Community Land Management Committees, lakini bado tuko na challenge. La sisi kama NRT tunaangalia kwamba ile challenge apart from just kuwa kwa hiyo kamati, tuna invest in terms of leadership and management, kuona kwamba wale kina mama na wale vijana wako katika hizo kamati wameweza kujua haki zao na wameweza kuwa pia wamefundishwa mambo ya uongozi na usimamizi katika conservancies. Ya pili ni kwamba tukifanya hizo mambo ya trainings pia within conservancies, kuona kwamba boards tumeweza kuwa capacity build ama kuongeza hiyo nguvu ya uongozi, pia youth na kina mama wana participate. So apart from just capacity building boards and leadership within conservancies, kina mama pia na youth wanapitia hiyo program yetu ya leadership and management. Ya ingine ni kwamba tumeweza kuwa na women caucus na youth caucuses, ambaye lengo letu ni kuona kwamba sauti ya kina mama na vijana imekuwa pia amplified within our conservancy. So we try to have those women and youth caucuses to make sure that the women and youth voices are amplified within the conservancies. Lingine pia ni mambo ya mentorship within the conservancies, kuona kwamba wale especially female teachers tumeweza kupea nafasi wawe wana support mashule katika conservancies, kujaribu kuboresha ile motivation ya wasichana kuwa katika shule na kureduce mambo ya dropouts katika shule zetu. Mambo pia ya livelihoods, NRT believes that we have an objective to make sure that we diversify livelihood katika conservancy yetu, na one of the activities that we undertake ni mambo ya trainings, entrepreneurship and finance trainings, mambo ya kupeana seed capitals katika conservancy yetu, kuona kwamba vijana na kina mama wanaweza kuwa na mbinu zingine ya ama alternative livelihoods, mambo ya vocational training, ujuzi manyatani, kuona kwamba wale kina mama na wale vijana hawajapata nafasi kuenroll katika secondaries ama colleges wanaweza kuwa na mbinu mwafaka ya kujiendelesha kimaisha.
Kindly conclude.
Yes, so I think mambo pia finally ni mambo ya peace, kwa sababu unajua Northern Kenya is a hostile environment, mambo ya cattle rustling, and through this peace concept tumeweza kuwa na peace champions ambaye kina mama wako, youth wako, Morans Council, knowing that they are the key players within our landscape. Finally, we are working with the NRT gender strategy just to make sure that we have our strategy by 2024. And the objective is to make sure that all this, we are gender responsive in all programs within NRT and within the conservancy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Makofi kwake. NRC seem to be doing a good job in positioning women and youth in your work. Asante kwa hayo. And samahani, I have to cut you short. I know you have so much to share. Let's hope there'll be question, probably, and opportunity to respond to some of the issues that will be coming up. Can we have the representative from KCWA? Kama hayuko, don't worry at all. We go to the next one. Environment Justice Team Samburu. Nakupatia dakika 3. Na ujitambulishe tafadhali.
Okay. Hi everyone, good morning.
Kiswahili uchanganye pia.
Sawa.
Tashukuru.
I'll try my best. My name is Nancy Ruoro, Director Environmental Justice Team Samburu, which is a youth-led CBO, and we are very grateful to Paran and Impact for this opportunity to involve us also as youth to be able to air our concerns and our role in environmental conservation. Kama mnavyojua, Africa is a very young continent, and the average African is 19 years old. How many of us are 19 here? Sisi wote tuko above 19. And the average years of an African leader is 63 years, making a difference of 44 years, which means that African youths are not well represented. But why are we here as environmental conservatives?
Changanya Kiswahili, please. Unaweza kuzungumza Kiswahili.
Sawa. Mtaniwia radhi kidogo sababu ya Kiswahili. Sawa. Our main role kama vijana wa Afrika katika conservation ni to make sure we are the safeguards of our environment. Sisi ndio tutakuwa siku za kesho, si ndio? Kwa hivyo tunafaa sisi wote pamoja as youths, tuache kukuwa spectators, tuache kukaa on the sidelines, and let us also be involved when it comes to decision makings. Ikifika ni mambo ya kuitumia mashamba yetu, kwa sababu kama sai tunaona land use zinabadilika, si ndio? And in this era of industrialization na urbanization, kunakuwa na mambo mingi inayochipuka katika mazingira yetu, kama pollution, kama deforestation, environmental degradation. Na ndio maana tunasema kama youth tuko na ile kitu inaitwa human capital. Human capital ni kusema aje, tuko na health. We are healthy, we can work. Tuko na education, tuko na skills. Kwa hivyo tukienda huko kwetu manyumbani, tunaenda tunawafunza wale wako nyumbani, si ndio? Kama sasa hivi tukigawa mashamba, mambo ya land use, tunafaa tufundishe watu kuhusu pollination, pollution, tunawafunza kuhusu kutunza misitu. Pia ndo tunasema pia kuwa tungependa kuinvolviwa kabisa. And how is this? And this is by disseminating and making sure that youths wako katika decision making ya county. Na tunashukuru sana our county government kwa sababu hakuna wakati knock mlango wao kama environmental justice wakatuambia endeni. Kila saa umetushikilia, na ndio maana unaona kama Samburu County tunasonga vyema katika environmental conservation. I hope madam nimemaliza.
Well done. Karibu mpigieni makofi, huyu amewezana na hiyo time yangu. Well done madam. And you have very good Kiswahili. I don't know why you shy away from speaking. Sometimes we have to challenge our ability to speak some of the languages. Ni kweli? Na hasa Kiswahili ambayo ni lugha ya taifa. Haya, thank you very much. Wacha tuende kwa the next panelist. Huyu atakuwa kutoka from Livestock Keepers, Bwana Francis kama sijakosea. Please, dakika zako 3 unazo kwa kifupi.
Asante sana madam. Hamjambo mawaziri wetu ambao walioko hapa, all protocols observed. Nafurahia sana kusimama mbele yenu nikiangazia mambo mawili ambayo inahusu mambo ya uchumi, hasa kwa hii sekta yetu ya livestock, na pia inasaidia kivipi mambo ya jamii yetu, haswa kina mama na vijana. SACCOs na cooperatives ni kitengo muhimu sana. Kwa sababu, kwa nini nasema hivyo? Kwa sababu kwa wakati huu tukiangazia maneno ya land, community land, ni lazima pia tuangalie maneno ya biashara, na nitajaribu kuwa brief sana kwa hii. Nimeandika mambo mengi lakini sitaongea yote. Sasa nitajaribu kuweka mambo mawili matatu. Jambo la kwanza, biashara kwa kina mama na biashara kwa vijana. Sako inasaidia vipi, ama livestock marketing cooperative inafanya kazi gani kwao? Jambo la kwanza ni kuhakikisha wale wote ambao wamesajiliwa kama sako kupitia registration ya cooperatives, na nafurahi sana kwa sababu waziri wa cooperative waka hapa, na nimeona pia walande waka hapa, na nikiangalia yeye alisimama hapa, na sijui kama amewahi saidia hawa kina mama wapate mahali ya kuuza livestock products, kwa sababu nilisikia mwingine alisimama hapa wakati hiyo ingine wakasema hawana mahali ya kuuzia bidhaa yao. Na livestock products ni muhimu sana kwa kina mama pia na vijana. Hiyo ni mambo ya mangozi, kufanya mambo ya value addition, na pia livestock sector tunaangazia pia hata mambo ya asali, kwa sababu inaleta mapato. Ile kitu muhimu sana ni hao kupata mahali ya kutengeneza products zao, na muhakikishe kwamba wakati serikali inatanga pesa yao, tafadhali kumbukeni hawa kina mama, kama ni mambo ya revolving fund inasaidia hawa kabisa. Mambo ya livestock marketing ni jambo muhimu pia kwa vijana wetu sasa ambaye tunaongea juu yao, na pia na wasichana wako na mifugo. Sijui tunasema tu kuna hawana chochote, sijui wazee ndio wana own ardhi, sijui nini. Mimi niko na vijana lakini ng'ombe yangu ni nyinyi ndio mnatawala. Hata kina mama akienda sokoni, mimi hata sijui bei ya ng'ombe inauza pesa ngapi. Sisi wengine tulipatia huru ya kupeleka pale na kuhusa. Kwa hivyo hakuna changamoto mingi sana. Hiyo ni mahali ya familia kuelewana. Kwa hivyo mambo ya kufanya biashara ni lazima hata sisi tuangalia kwa mambo ya hii land ni nini inatusaidia. Kuna mahali ambayo tunaweza peleka hizi ng'ombe zetu kwa sababu tuko nazo. Kuna mahali tutapeleka hii mbuzi zetu. Na kama kuna mahali ya kupeleka, tutapitisha wapi? Ukiangalia hii dunia hii mpaka sijui Nairobi, kuna mahali kulikuwa na holy grounds, kulikuwa na mahali kulikuwa na stock routes, lakini hata saa hii ukiambia wa vijana wapeleke hiyo ng'ombe, watapitisha wapi? Watapata resting yards wapi? Hawajui, kwa sababu corridors imefungwa. Na nini hii land summit itaongea juu ya hii corridors na hii holding grounds, ili tupata mahali ya kupeleka kupitisha ng'ombe zetu tunapotayarisha kwenda kuuza, hata kama ni Kenya Meat Commission. Na hiyo ni jukumu ya livestock marketing, na jukumu pia ya cooperative kusolidate pesa na kulink hawa watu kwa hata financiers, kama ni mabank, kama ni county revolving funds. Hiyo itasaidia hawa. Pia mambo ya leather products, hii kina mama naona wanachona hapa, ni mangozi wanatumia, wanafanya value addition. Mambo ya meat processing, hiyo tumefanya hata kama sisi livestock marketing, mahali ya kuchinjia nyama yetu na kupeleka Nairobi direct. Ni jukumu ya serikali yetu na wale SACCOS. Unajua hali ya SACCOS sana, hawa ni mambo yao ni lending. Lakini livestock marketing cooperatives, hiyo ni maneno ya kusource markets elsewhere, both local and international. Hapo ndio tutaangazia sana, ndio tuanze kuinua uchumi, kuinua hawa watu, kwa sababu tegemeo letu kama pastoralist ni hizi mifugo yetu. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Thank you so much. Mpigieni makofi ya nguvu. Amesema yeye kwake ni example, role model of women owning, participating in decision making as a household, as a family, wana decide. Sijajua ni wangapi hapa kwenu mnafanya hivyo? Wengi ama wachache?
Pole sana, sijasema jina langu. Jina langu ni Francis Olengaidori. Mimi ni manager wa Livestock Marketing Cooperative pande ya Laikipia. Nimetoka kwa hiyo county ambayo hana shinda, tumetransit 100%. Akina mama hakuna swali watatuuliza huko.
Hapa amesema hiyo county wako sawa. But pengine ile report imekuja NLC haijawa exonerate, kwa hivyo mko na kazi ya kufanya. Bado gender issues ziko. Hata kama mmetransition, zile dynamics zinaitwa kwa power relations zinaweza kuwa within the household, pengine ya bwana na bibi, ama jamii kuangalia women kama hawahitaji kuwa na rights, ama zile disputes ambazo zinaweza kuwa huko zina mizozo ambaye pia zinakandamiza akina mama. But thank you so much, Francis, for sharing your experiences. But this also makes me ask a number of questions. Moja ni kuhusu hizo corridors tunasema zimekuwa blocked. ziko wapi na ziko documented, are they mapped, tujue ni nani anafaa kuhusika kwa hiyo. So county governments, you cannot shy away from answering that question if your intention is to keep the community land and the livelihood of the communities thriving in those community land. So watu wa wale partners mko hapa pamoja na county government, in our next summit can we have the maps ya hizi corridors ziko wapi, ndio tuweze kuengage na muweze kufacilitate a conversation. Hii swali isijirudie Bwana Francis, pengine take it as an action point, pengine kama kuna majibu yaweze kusemekana. In addition to that, najua tumezungumzia transition sana ya group ranches. Trust land, only one trust land has so far been able to transition kwa community land. Swali ni kwamba what is the status of these other ones, na ni nini imewafanya washindwe kabisa kupiga hii hatua? I know NLC kwa hii report wamefocus on group ranches. Can you tell us pengine next time hata au kabla ya wakati huo hizi status na challenges wanapitia, na pengine kuwe na mechanism ya kuweza kuaddress hizo. Lakini let me now go to the next panelist, and so far they are doing very well with the time management. I must congratulate them for that. Nitapatia our next panelist atakuwa CEO Tourism, ECO Tourism Cultural Groups wa Twala. Madam, I know you are a good speaker. Na utaongea Kiswahili leo ile tunaweza kusikia wote tukafuatilia. Karibu sana. Na ujitambulishe majina na shirika yako.
Hello, hamjambo. Majina yangu ni Rosemary Nenini. Nimetoka Laikipia County, Laikipia North Sub-County, Twala Cultural Women. Twala Women ni kikundi ya wamama ambayo ni umbrella ama mamvuli ya vikundi 6 ya wamama kutoka 2 community lands, Ilpolea and Munishoi. Sisi ni wamama ambao tulipata ardhi mwaka wa 2007 wakati kulikuwa group ranches. Tulianza kutengeneza vikundi kwa villages, tukaangalia ni nini mama anaona ama ni nini kilisho chako kama mama mfugaji, tukahakikisha kila mama ana kuku, kwa sababu kwa Laikipia Maasai hakuna mwanaume anakuuliza uliuza kuku ngapi ama mayai ngapi, ili tufanye personal hygienic. Uweze kununua sanitary pad, uweze kununua sabuni na mafuta. At least tulianza kwa household, kuangalia ni nini mama anaweza fanya ili awe mzafi, ili mtoto akifukuzwa kwa sababu hana penseli ama kalamu naweza nunulia. Na hapo tukaona haja ya kuomba wanaume watupatie ardhi, na bila shaka walitupa ekari 40, na tukaenda kwa partners, tukafensiwa ndio tuweze kuconserve na kumanage natural resources. Hapo tukaingia kwa mambo ya utalii ambayo kwa uwezo na usaidizi ya partners tulisaidiwa kujenga cottages mahali wageni wanalala.
Aloe vera.
Aloe secundiflora. Yetu ni aloe secundiflora, kuna aina mingi. Aloe secundiflora ni nzuri kwa mambo ya cosmetic, kutengeneza sabuni, na pia tunauza mimea yenyewe UK. Kwa hiyo tukafanya
wapi makofi bwana, wekeni hiyo makofi kuje. Madam, hawa ni international.
Asanti. Tukaweza kushowcase ama kuonyeshana our beautiful culture. Utamaduni yetu ni pesa, ardhi yetu ni pesa ukihifadhi. Kwa sababu tulipohifadhi tulianza kufanya mambo ya plant walk. Plant walk ni kuonyesha watu mimea ya kiasili ambayo inatumika kama dawa, na zile ambayo tunaitumia wakati ya traditional ceremonies. Wakati ya tuko na mambo kama ya kutahiri vijana, siku na ile miti lazima uwe naye. Wakati tuliconserve hiyo 40 acres ikakua, hiyo miti ikamea, na tukateki ya advantage, tukipeleka mgeni ama wale researchers tunalipisha 2,000. Pia tukafanya mambo ya mifugo, work with cattle, goat follow na baboon walk. Sisi mpaka nugu iko na faida, tunakupeleka kule unalipa $50 ama unalipa 4,000 kama wewe ni Mkenya. Na International Schools of Kenya wanafanya, watu wa research wanafanya, na pia local na international tourism wanafanya. Kwa hiyo tulitafuta kuangalia ni nini naweza letea mama mfugaji pesa, kwa sababu tunataka kuhifadhi mila nzuri, kusema hapana kwa mila mbaya kama ile ukeketaji, kuozwa kwa mapema, mandoa ya mapema na kunyima mtoto kwenda shuleni. Na sisi kama jamii ya wafugaji, sisi ni semi-nomads, wale wa kuhamahama. Na wakati ya jilali, mama asipojipanga awe na mambo mengine ya kufanya ili support mtoto yake kwenda shuleni na hata aweze kujimudu kujipatia chakula, bila shaka atahamahama na hawa mifugo. Na hatutaki masomo ya watoto wetu yaathirike, hatutaki pia sisi tuhamahame. Ndio maana tuliangalia sustainable livelihood, tukaanza kufanya mambo ya kitchen garden, shamba kidogo organic, mambo ya ushanga, mambo ya utalii kwa hiyo cottages na camping sites. Tuko pia na hall, watu wakitaka mikutano kama ya siku ya leo naweza fanyia kule kwetu. Kwa hiyo ile pesa tunapata tunashare kama dividends mara 2 kwa mwaka, June and December, na 10% inaenda kwa girl child education. So hiyo ndio sisi tunafanya kama Twala, na imetusaidia kuempower us economically, imetupea exposure inside the country and outside. So asante sana. Visit Laikipia, visit Twala Cultural Manyatta. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. I think hii ndio inaitwa ile experience ambayo ni real. Sometimes we don't recognize how much potentials ambayo iko kwa environment yetu. Mpaka upate experience kama ya hawa ndio uone vile wametumia nafasi yao vizuri. Na wakapata support ya county government, wamepata support ya washirika mbalimbali, lakini imeanza na bidii yao wenyewe. Unajua saa nyingine huanga tunasema tusaidie. Serikali saidia, lakini hatujisaidii wenyewe. Hawa walianza na bidii yao wenyewe. They are the starters. They started from somewhere. They started building from scratch. And they were able to scope their environment, kuona hapa tukianza na kuku, hawa jamaa wanaume hawatatuuliza hii pesa. Lakini baada ya hapo wakaona pia shamba ni muhimu, wacha tuulize shamba as a group. Tuone tutajisaidia namna gani. Madam, I can tell you for sure, si wengi wetu hapa tuko kwa hii level yenu. Sio sisi wengi tumefika hii level, lakini kuna matumaini kwamba wengi hapa wanaweza faidika kwa kwenda kulearn from Twala. So ile exchange programs na nini, tupeleke wamama wetu kwa Twala huko wakaone ni wapi na ni nini wanafanya. Si ni kweli? Hebu wapigieni makofi tena. Now, mambo amezungumzia madam hapa, ametupeleka pia kidogo kwa maneno ya ecotourism. Na pengine hii inamulika direct hii ofisi ya tourism kwa county. So, allow me to invite our next panelist ambaye ni CECM Tourism Samburu County. Atatuelezea wamekuwa wakifanya nini na atajiintroduce kwa majina kamili, alafu atatuelezea. Nitampa muda mfupi, kwa hivyo sir, with your permission, allow me to be upstanding when time is over. I'll give you 4 minutes. Over to you, and thank you.
Thank you, Madam Evelyn. Lakini ningekuomba tu usifinye serikali. Mambo na saa.
Tutasaidiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Hamjambo. Watu wa Laikipia hamjambo. Watu wa Isiolo hamjambo. Watu wa Marsabit hamjambo. Watu wa Turkana County hamjambo. Hakuna Turkana County? Wapo, sio? Na watu wa Baringo wapo, Aha. Thank you so much. And I'm also told we have participants from different countries. I'm told our brothers from Tanzania wako hapa. Hamjambo wa Tanzania? Mupo? Good. I'm told watu wa Burundi wapo hapa. Burundians, are you here? Watu wa Burundi hampo? I'm told DRC Congo wapo. Mupo? Aha, very good. Watu wa Ethiopia? Mupo? Munaongea Kiswahili pia? Asante, karibuni sana. Na wenzetu kutoka Uganda mpo? Wa Uganda wapo? Very good. I know your Swahili is good. Or is it English that is good, Swahili is poor? Swahili is bad. And we know why you don't like Swahili. So please don't push us to speak Swahili so much. Now, for those whom we are interacting for the very first time, my names are Raphael Siambu Lenayara. As it has been said, I am the CC in charge of tourism, trade, cooperatives, investments, and enterprise development. Siyo jina ni mrefu sana. Very long title, lakini pesa ni kidogo sana. And before I say anything, I would like to take this opportunity to really thank Impact Kenya, ndugu yangu Ole Kaunga, sijui kama yuko ama ametoka. Ametoka? But the team is here. We are very grateful for you organizing this workshop. And Paran Alliance, Paran wapo, sio? Tumeshukuru sana na Mungu awabariki. Na unajua Paran kwa Kisamburu means something else. Kwa hivyo tutakuja Paran. Tunawakaribisha na tumesema asante. We cannot really, this is a very, very important workshop. I know this is a Community Land Summit 2023. It is very, very important. And we are honored as a county, Madam Evelyn, na ndio nimekuambia usifinye serikali. We are very grateful as a county to host this workshop. I am told, is it the 4th in the country? The 3rd workshop that is being held in this country to discuss such matters land. And we know, all of us know, how emotive issues to do with lands are. So, Madam Evelyn, ukimoderate, na unajua watu wa Samburu tunakunyanga kitu inaitwa secketed. Kwa hivyo tusukume sana secketed ipandishe pressure ya land emotions. So we are very, very grateful. We know for sure this is a very, very important workshop. And you have just heard from my colleague, Losenge, that our governor would really have loved to be here, but because of other commitments, he's not been able to be here. But be rest assured, when you see my colleague here who is in charge of lands, we are here to support him. My sister Evelyn is here. Our DG was here yesterday. Our speaker is right here. We have a number of IMCS here. So the whole county government of Samburu is here. Do we agree? Very good. Now, I am told to give some few remarks on gender equality and participation of women and youth in land ownership, natural resources management, and enhancement of sustainable local economies. And that's what I'm going to talk about. Na najua mimi nilipatiwa docket ya tourism, 1 because of qualification and 2 because of my color. Nimekaribia wasungu kidogo, na kitambo tulikuwa tunajua utalii ni mambo na wasungu tu, si ndio? Wakatafuta mwingine, wale watu walikaribia kala ya wasungu ni mimi na huyu ndugu yangu Losenge, na yeye akaambiwa akae kwa land. Ulisikia vile alisema, wako vijana 10 kwa nyumba, shamba ni 53 acres. So akaambiwa sasa wewe kwa sababu umesha deal na hiyo maneno ya nyumbani, tembea na Wasamburu na hii mambo ya land pande nyingine. So with all protocols observed, of course, our speaker is here and our members of county assembly present here, my colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to stand before you here today as a CCM Tourism and Wildlife Samburu County. And I'm not just a CCM of tourism, I'm also the chairperson of Tourism Committee of all the CCs, the 47 CCs ya nchi hii, mimi ndio chairman. Kwa hivyo unaona Samburu hatujakaa nyuma sana, si ndio? And so to discuss the critical roles that women and youth play in ecotourism and livestock. I think that was the topic I was told to discuss. Now, empowering women, and I am very grateful to my sister here who spoke before me. Wazee sio wabaya ama wanaume sio wabaya. Huyu sister yangu ni ushahidi. Amesema wameenda kama wakina mama, wakaambia wazee watupatie eka 40. Hawakunyimwa. Wakapewa. The beauty is they've been able to make use of their 40 acres they made very good use of that land. Na umesikia vile amesema. Unajuanga fedha inatokengeanga wapi? Huyu sister yangu amesema they sell chicken, they make money. They have even gone international, they sell aloe vera. Ndio? Wamejenga cottages. Unajua when two partners come together, hiyo ni mama na mzee kwa ndoa. Huo watu wanasemanga everything that belongs to us is ours. Lakini makosa inakuanga nyinyi ndio huwa mnalitanga vita kwa nyumba. Wakina mama. Wakina mama mpo? You people, you tell us what belongs to us is ours. But what belongs to you is mine. That's where the problem begins. And we need to change some of those constitutions. Kama hiyo line hiyo constitution, tubadilishe ndio tuache vita. Now, empowering women and youth is not just a matter of equity, it's catalyst for economic growth and social stability. When women and youth are economically empowered, they gain the ability to make choices and extra control over their lives. And I think we've just heard from my sister. This autonomy is not only transformative for women and youth themselves, but also the societies they live in, leading to improved economic productivity and better outcomes for future generations. Our gathering here is a testament to our shared commitment to fostering inclusive growth and sustainable development in our communities. A significant proportion of our women and more likely to live in poverty compared to their male counterparts, which is true. One of the most pressing issues they face is lack of control over productive resources and financial assets. So what we are saying is, it is true. We totally do agree that we must include our women and youth in some of the decisions that we make. This gap hinders their full participation in the economic sector, including the pivotal areas like ecotourism and livestock management. It is therefore essential to recognize and honor the guiding principles enshrined in our Constitution. By the way, this is also given in the Constitution, Article 21. A cornerstone of our Constitution framework mandates every state organ to observe, protect, promote, fulfill, and respect the rights and fundamental freedom in the Bill of Rights. So, wakina mama, hamuombi kuwa kwa hizo makamati ya kugawa shamba, ama kuwa mnakonsultiwa kufanya kitu ndani ya society. The Constitution actually mandates that you should be part and parcel of that team. It is within this framework that we as a county government are called to action. Our Constitution further emphasizes the duty of all state organs and public officers to address the needs of various groups within the society, with a specific mention of women and youth. And I think in our county, we have really done very well when it comes to matters, women and youth. As I said, I represent also cooperatives here. We have a fund called Women and Youth Fund, which we have put in place as a county government. And every financial year, we purpose to ensure that we put monies in there so that our women and youth can borrow for their own small or big businesses within our county and out of this county. Ecotourism and livestock sectors present a unique opportunities for the women and youth. These industries are deeply rooted in our cultural heritage and are vital for the economic sustenance of many communities. By integrating women and youth in these sectors, we can tap into reservoir of innovations, resilience, and diversity. I think when my brother spoke here, he talked about livestock and the end product of livestock, like skins and such like things, whereby our women are so good in turning that into the, adding value into those animal products. To this end, our county is committed to implementing policies that ensure women and youth are not just participants, but leaders in the ecotourism and livestock economies. I think I've already said, as a county, we have passed a number of acts or bills to ensure that our women and youth are fully covered. We aim to provide access to resources, training and financial support to enable them to become entrepreneurs and conservationists and key stakeholders in these industries. Moreover, we recognize the involvement of women and youth in these sectors is crucial for environmental sustainability. Their unique perspectives and traditional knowledge are invaluable in conserving our natural resources and promoting sustainable tourism practices. I think my sister here also talked of some very important plans that are known by our women and also even men. And they say that they've done very well in planting some of those things in the 40 acres that they were given. And as of today, people can walk there as nature walks. They can use that during ceremonies. They can charge people actually to walk through those trails. In conclusion, Evelyn, I'm finishing, so just take a seat, I'm finishing. In conclusion, let us remember that the empowerment of women and youth in the ecotourism and livestock economy is not just a goal in itself, but a means to a larger end, a more equitable, prosperous, and sustainable world. Let us work together to break down barriers. Remember, barriers, those bad cultural practices is what is taking our women backwards. So we must break those barriers. Create opportunities and build a future where everyone, regardless of gender or age, can contribute to the benefit from our rich natural heritage. So that is the end of my written speech, but if in 2 minutes only, sita kusema Mungu shahidi, lakini dakika mbili tu nitamaliza. That is the end of my written speech, but let me say something on the side, because this is very important. And I think a lot has been said by the speakers who spoke before me when it comes to matters land. Na ningependa kusema tu ya kuwa imefika wakati, na Evelyn, ukiangalia sana hii mashida sote yenye tuko nazo in this time and era, 21st century. And a lot of these issues, if you look at it critically, Evelyn, hii mambo yote iko kwa pastoralist communities. Ni kweli ama si ukweli? Na kitu moja ile shangia hiyo changamoto yenye tuko nayo leo hii ni kuwa as a country today, we are 60 years old since we got our independence. But these are some areas that were left behind. And so we still have these retrogressive cultural practices that we still practice. But I will want to encourage all of us, women and men in this room, because we cannot cry forever. Sisi kama wafugaji, hatuwezi kuwa tunakaa na kulia miaka na miaka. Kukuja the Constitution of 2010 brought some changes ndio sisi wafugaji tufaidike. Leo hii tuko na counties yetu. Na ukiangalia hizo counties, they've been named after the communities that live there. Ukiangalia kwa undani tena. So today, na ukiangalia tena zaidi, the people who are running those counties, the governors of those counties, the CCs of those counties, the CEOs of those counties, and many other officers, they come from those communities. Is that true? So I think time has come. We must engage. We must engage as communities. Tujitoe kwenye shimo hili ili tuweze kuwa meza moja na wale wa Kenya wengine. Wakati umefika, tusiache kufinyilia wakina mama wetu, our sisters kule chini. Let us bring them to this table where men can sit and deliberate on some of these issues like land issues. It is true we all want to get to that level of community land ownership. But Madam Evelyn, I can tell you for sure, hawataki kusema, lakini let me say, ukiangalia how do you say, the committees of those land, the land committees, majority of them are men. Is that not true? Sindio? So, mimi ninge encourage wazee wetu wako hapa, my brothers who are here, time has come kama chairman ya land committee ni mzee, we should focus the vice person or vice chairperson should be a lady.
Pigieni makofi. Na ni challenge kwa sababu that is not what is on the ground. So you are very right.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. We cannot wait for Evelyn or Impact or Paran to come and organize for us a workshop like this for us to discuss some of these things. Lazima sisi kama watu wa Turkana wako hapa, mnajua challenges ni kama yetu. Watu wa Baringo mko hapa, mnajua challenges yenye mko nazo ni yetu. Watu wa Marsabit, same challenges. Watu wa Isiolo, same challenges. Na sio bure tumebaki kupigana tu na kuibiana ng'ombe. Wacha tumalizie hapo. Hiyo ni kesi ya siku nyingine, lakini Mungu atatupatia fursa nyingine. Sisi kama counties, hizo counties ya pastoral communities, we will force our CCs under those departments of land, watulete sisi pamoja bila watu kutoka nje, tuoshe nyumba yetu pamoja. Kama sio? Waje nimalizie hapo. Mungu awabariki. Ya mwisho kabisa. Now that I'm the Minister of Tourism, mimi ningewaomba tu usitoke Samburu bila kutembelea eneo moja ama mbili. Kutoka hapa kwenda Malaso ni kama kilomita 2 tu. So maybe today ukiwaruhusu watoke mapema waende waone hiyo escarpment, very beautiful place, itakuwa bora zaidi. Samburu is a very beautiful land. Feel at home. Karibuni tena. Asante.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Kama tungekuwa kwa ile parliament yenu, hiyo mic ingekuwa ilizima kitambo. Lakini leo tumekupatia nafasi because we know how important also this sector is, and particularly for transformation of our livelihoods of the communities and looking at women and the youth. I have 2 more speakers. Na tumefika saa ya lunch. So standing between you and lunch ni watu wawili ambao watazungumza before we break. And I would like to ask our CEC in charge of gender, Madam Evelyn, my namesake, atachukua the platform na nampatia strictly 5 minutes. Hii itakuwa ni ladies conversation kama atakataa kumaliza kwa wakati. But thank you, Madam Evelyn. Karibu sana. She's in charge of gender, culture, youth affairs, social service here in Samburu County. Atatuelezea kidogo kuhusu utaratibu na mpangilio na in view of the subject of discussion about youth, women conservation, ecotourism and livestock. Thank you, Madam, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. Hamjambo. Good afternoon. Enter super walking. Kama unaniona inua mkono juu. I will just be very brief. I don't want to stand between you and lunch. So the topic of discussion is women and youth involvement in conservation, ecotourism, livestock economy. So in Samburu County, specifically the departments where I work in, that is the gender, culture, social services, youth affairs, and sports. Ni jinsia, utamaduni, masuala ya vijana, michezo. The women are really involved in conservation, and they are organized in groups. So the women are in groups, undertaking several activities, including tree nurseries. So in tree nurseries, we have several, Mary Green, even environmental justice before it graduated to be a CBO. It was a tree nursery youth group. So we are involving them in land conservation. And then the ladies are also taking lead in the land committees, environmental committees, and particularly, they were given a position of a treasurer. It was subject of discussion as in, wamama wako wanapewa nafasi ya kuwa the chairperson, even in our conservancies, until currently. And Madam Julieta can attest to this, that she's the chair of the board, a conservancy, one of the conservancies in Samburu. This is just recently. I think, if I'm not wrong, there are around 3 ladies, chair ladies. So nafasi ya treasurer ndio sana sana imejulikana ama imekuwa particularly set aside for the ladies. But we are coming out strongly. We are advocating that all the positions are equally important even for the ladies, and they can occupy. So some of the roles that the ladies undertake in managing the environment, they are the rehabilitators. This I say because mostly they interact with the environment in securing sources of fuel, that is firewood, and fodder. And in our conservancies, they are the advocates for this. And these groups are undertaking pasture production. Our mama wanatusaidia kukusa nyasi kwa conservancy yetu. And then ladies are interested. Ndio unapata sack planting, yani badala ya gunia kutumika unatumia gunia alafu baada ya exhaust the content ya gunia unatupa, wanatumia kutengeneza gardens, kitchen gardens, na ndio imekuja na hiyo technology inaitwa sack garden. Alafu with the new technology wakatengeneza gani bags. This is the version of that the women are using to make the vegetables or to grow vegetables. Even the basins, ile karai imetoboka, they also use. So these ladies are innovators. And then for the youths are a unique group. This is a distinct group which is combining sports, arts, fun, passion, networks, science and technology. And they are the shaping part of our society because they are the whistleblowers with the new technology that the youths and the new technology led new innovations that is going around the world. They can give in what works well and what might not work well in our community. So I have 5 roles for the youth in Samburu County. That is the innovators, agents of change. That is in terms of, I'm using just example, that is the environmental justice because I'm tree nursery and the venture to earn from growing of trees. And to sum it up, I see Evelyn is up. We have a star event which we have just concluded in October in our county. That is the Maralal International Camel Derby. So in terms of ecotourism, our youths were involved, our women were also involved. We planted trees and they participated in the event. That is, and we had the local artists. So that is all about the ecotourism. Evelyn.
Thank you for being outstanding with the time management, Madam Evelyn. Thank you very much for the good work you are doing to promote and advance the rights of women and opportunities, extending those opportunities as may be possible at the county level. So, standing between your lunch, and kindly please, musiamuke raamua mwendi kupewa lunch pale before tumalize, but this will be very brief. Atamaliza na dakika kama 3. Namkaribisha madam, I'll introduce her, anaitwa Madam Faith Githinji. Ata represent East Africa community, lakini under the Ministry of Land, Reflection from the State Departments of ASAL areas and regional development. Atatupatia tu a quick reflection on their observation from yesterday to today, based on also the discussions that we've had here. So you have your 3 minutes, madam. Kindly keep time.
Oh, thank you. My name is Faith Githinji. All protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Faith Githinji. I'm coming from the Ministry of East African Community, a department of ASALs, Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development. Thank you, Madam Evelyn, for giving us this chance. Before maybe I say anything, I came with my 2 colleagues Richard Kering and Metrin Tom. Maybe you can just wave to the crowd. Thank you. Secondly, is to bring our apologies. Our PS was supposed to be with us from yesterday, but he had an activity that was a meeting with the president yesterday morning, so he was not able to come with us. Thirdly, is to say that we had a speech from our PS and we gave it to Impact so that they can record we were around and also take up those remarks from our PS. So for me, I will not do any remarks. I will not read that speech. So from yesterday, as we sat here, all mandate of ourselves is to coordinate all development in the ASALs. So for us here, it is very important when we sit here, understanding that all development sits on land. So when we come for the Community Land Summit, for us, it is a big plus. And we also thank Impact for inviting us. We are in the process of having an MOU with Impact. And we will be able now to understand more about our communities as we attend this Land Summit. Thank you so much, Impact, for inviting us. So first and foremost, as we talk about development in the ASALs, our issues are not, our issues are the usual issues of our ASALs. One, the major issue in our ASALs is water. The second issue is our livestock. The third issue is resilience to our communities. And the fourth issue is peace. And the last is inclusivity. So inclusivity meaning youth, women, vulnerable groups, and disability. So as I stand here, I'm in charge of one program that is Kenya-Uganda cross-border program that deals with Turkana, West Pokot, and the Karamajong. And for us, for this program, key is peace. And for us in this program is strengthening peace building, community resilience, conflict prevention, and management and resolution initiatives. So when we sit here in Samburu, I think those are the key issues that cut across all our ASAL regions. And we want to thank you, the organizers of this, and to welcome you, all of us. Let's sit together, let's discuss, and see how we can engage with the ministry. We are all open to programming with you in all issues of the ASAL. So thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much. You can see how ladies can be efficient in time management. Our gentlemen have done well, but maybe not as good as the ladies. Thank you so much. Thank you, Madam, for making reference to that speech by the PS. We will make endeavor to ensure that this is also read and shared with all the participants, because it forms, we would be happy to hear thoughts and ideas and what is transpiring at that level. And we thank the PS in advance of us reading the report, the speech from him using this platform. Thank you so much for your patience. Tunashukuru kwa kuwa watulivu. Tunashukuru kwa kuwa chakula kiko karibu pale, naona wanaandaa, kwa hivyo hatujachelewa. Kwa hivyo tuta break for kidogo. So, so would like to provide, kwa sababu naona wanapangilia kwa tumeambiwa bado hawajakuwa tayari. Can we take the few minutes we have to ensure that we have this speech from the PS ambayo itasomwa hapa, na tutamuuliza madam kwa heshima if kindly you could deliver the speech on the behalf of the team and the PS kindly. Thank you everyone for your patience. Madam, with your permission, kindly proceed.
Okay, thank you, Madam. Thank you all for allowing me to read this speech from our PS. And I'll just read the way it is. So these are our remarks from our PS. Our PS is Hamsa Kelo. I hope I'm getting that name right. So these are remarks from our PS, State Department for Asset and Regional Development, during the Community Land Summit, 3rd edition, on 4th November 2023. Honorable members present, and non-governmental organizations, and all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm pleased to join you today for this land summit, whose theme is gender equality and participation of women and youth in land ownership, natural resource management, enhancement of sustainable local economies. The State Department of the Assets and Regional Development has a core mandate of development in the SALS and the regional development. So the functions of the State Department include peace and conflict management, social and cultural integration, and resilience building. To achieve this mandate, the State Department develops programs, engages and promotes collaborations with partners for greater impact and sustainable development. In this regard, the State Department is in the process of developing an MOU with impact to address challenges of the identified counties. The main objective of the partnership is to enhance and fast-track development in ASAL counties for improved livelihoods and peaceful coexistence. So with the perennial cycle of drought and the realities of climate change, there is need to relook at the current strategies being used to address these challenges affecting livelihoods of the ASAL communities. During this land summit, the participants have a chance to discuss the strategies of accessing, ownership, and proper utilization of land in the ASAL areas to enhance productivity and ensure the resilience of the ASAL communities. It is my expectation that discussions of these meetings will culminate into a development of a roadmap and an action plan that will guide the implementation of the agreed resolutions. With vast lands in the ASALs, gender equality and the participation of women and youth in land ownership, natural resources management, and the enhancement of sustainable local economies are crucial aspects for the development of Kenya arid and semi-arid areas. Empowering women and youth in these regions can have several positive impacts. One, gender equality. Promoting gender equality ensures that women have equal access to land ownership and natural resources, enabling them to fully participate in decision-making processes, help address historical injustices, and ensure equitable opportunities in this area. So women empowerment by involving women in land ownership and natural resource management, developing their knowledge, skills, and perspectives contribute to sustainable inclusive practices which empowers women economically, socially, and enables them to actively participate in decision making. So youth engagement, encouraging youth participation in land ownership and resource management provides them with opportunities for education, skills development, entrepreneurship, and leadership. This not only strengthens local economies, but also creates a sense of ownership and responsibility among the younger generation. Sustainable local economics, engaging women and youth in sustainable practices such as agroforestry, water management, and ecotourism can enhance local economies through promoting environmental conservation, generating income, and reducing rural-urban migration by creating viable livelihood options. Legal reforms advocacy for legal reforms that address gender disparities in land ownership and resource management is essential. This involves reviewing and amending existing laws to ensure equal rights and opportunities for women and youth to own, manage, and benefit from the land resources. Awareness and capacity building. Raising awareness about gender equality, women and youth rights, and sustainable land management practices is important. Capacity building programs should be implemented to equip women and youth with the necessary skills to engage effectively in managing local economies and natural resources, and access to finance, engage local communities and leadership in promoting gender equality and promoting youth participation it's very important to ensure that they access finances. To achieve the full potential of women and youth, improve livelihood, environmental conservation, and overall development in their cells, it is essential to implement policies, programs that support gender equality, provide access to education and training, ensure secure land tenure rights, and foster inclusive decision-making process. Collaboration between the Department of Asset Impact and the local communities is key to fostering sustainable development in Kenya's arid and semi-arid lands. I wish to supporting initiative that will fast-track socio-economic development and participation to all to enhance the resilience of the communities in the ASALs. Thank you and God bless you.
Pigeni makofi ya PS ambaye ametumana hii speech yake, very powerful, very informative, very encouraging, and we congratulate the State Department for to read this speech for us. And we also feel happy that we've been able to integrate the views into our discussion. I think Mali tumefikia now. I'll give my colleague just to conclude and then we... Asanteni sana.
Tupigie panelist wetu wa siku ya leo makofi. Asanteni sana. Basi ni wakati ambaye sasa nitawaruhusu muende lunch kwa dakika 20, alafu tunarudi tusimame wote kwa sababu ya kuombea chakula. Naona wengine tayari wamekula, lakini wacha sisi ambaye bado hatujakula tuweze kuombea. Tusimame. Na nitamomba waziri wetu wa tourism hapa Samburu, najua ni mtu anaomba Mungu sana, akuje atuombee kwa sababu ya chakula. Rafael, tafadhali kuja omba kwa sababu ya chakula.
Okay, washa tuombe. Heavenly Father, we come before you this mid-morning. We thank you because you've been in our midst since we started. And as we break for lunch, we pray for that lunch that's going to be sanctified into our bodies. As we come back and deliberate on what is left in this conference, that we will be able again to that we are discussing. Heavenly Father, we thank you and we thank you once again and thank you.
Tupigie